Uh, Hi, figments of my imagination.
What?
All y'all are figments of my imagination. I'm a really active, imaginative person.
Okay.
It goes with the theme.
What theme? We don't have a theme.
We're talking about Paranoia, Agent.
Yeah.
All right. I'm dreading it. So let's just start off where we normally do. Yay or nay?
No.
Oh, why though?
Uh so my biggest issues with this series was it was boring, it was confusing, and it just wasn't good.
It is a very strange show.
Like it is very strange. I understood that immediately, like it's supposed to be strange, but it didn't make any sense. Period. Like they even when they were quote unquote like explaining it, they never explained anything and it was just confusing.
All right.
And
Well,
in not in a interesting confusing way. Like I honestly like every episode was pretty much the same.
so there's a couple reasons why I really like this show. There's
Like
there's I will admit they're because I'm weird. Okay?
I understand that.
But there are particular things that make me really like this show. Like I would say watch it, but you have to be like my process with it was like I just turned off my brain for like the first 4 episodes, like just going through the series of events for the first 4 episodes, and then afterwards you can kind of pick up what's going on. You can't really think too hard in the first few episodes because if you try it just doesn't fit.
You pick up what's happening, but it still just doesn't make any sense because the whole thing behind it was like, yes, the idea of everybody getting like mentally stressed to the point of breaking that they want to like basically finding a way to escape reality, like the reality of the matter, psychosis. Um,
Yay, it
and
came full
I
circle.
picked that up immediately with this series. And basically, it's the whole idea of all these people end up developing what essentially is psychosis. Like they,
That's actually not true.
the main character does at least, but
So, so,
let me finish.
okay.
So everybody gets like there's the whole thing with like apparently this one person going around. They call him Shonen Bat or whatever,
So
and
golden
it's
bat.
just supposed to be Golden Bat, whatever. And they kept like the whole idea was he would go around and just basically just roll around on roller skates, some kid, and just smack people with a bat.
Okay.
And they make the correlation of it's happening to these people who are like mentally backed into a corner with like stress or like their life is basically leading them to be like mentally strained. And it turns out that like this golden like the golden bat guy is like not real, but yet he's still like physically hurting and killing people too. Like and then but it like he's supposed to be made up and not real. He was made up by like the very first like the main girl, her name's Sagi, and like like he's just like a figment of her imagination,
Oh
but
my
yet he's
god.
somehow still real. And like at the very last episode, spoilers, like there's just this black goo that like basically swallows up the entire city, and it's all the manifestation of her not wanting to admit that she's the one who got her puppy killed when she was a kid.
Oh my
And
god.
somehow this giant imagination of hers manifests into reality and
I
destroys the city.
I love
And they
this
even
breakdown.
it makes no
I
sense.
love it.
It's so
It's
stupid.
like trying to explain Fooly Cooley.
Fooly Cooley's better than this.
Oh,
Like
oh.
Fooly Cooley makes more sense
So the oh
because
my
like
god. That
it's
might be a stretch.
like it's because the stuff in Fooly Cooley isn't trying to pass off as being like, oh, this is all in your head, this is imaginary, but yet it's still physically affecting people that aren't even like it affects everybody somehow. Like everybody in the city is getting swallowed up at the end by this thing, but it's all a figment of her imagination, but yet it's physically affecting everybody. And like I said, it destroys the entire city. And it does like a thing at the end where it's like, oh, after 2 years, the incident 2 years ago, the city's finally rebuilt. So it's like this happened, but with something that wasn't real.
Okay. All right. So do you want me to bring back some like redeeming factors to this show? Because don't get me wrong, there's a lot wrong with the show. There's
It
a
just it like I understood what they were doing with the show, but it was so bad the way they went about it.
so okay. What I liked about this show was that in the first few episodes we have the the first victim, the main victim where things are going awry. So if the person is supposed to be an artist and come up with characters to sell that are basically like little trinkets, right? Like little like a plush, like the one that she did was a plush dog, right?
Like like her whole thing is she's supposed to be like designing characters and
So
stuff
yeah,
for
she's
like
for anime or manga or like mascots or whatever. That's what she does. So the show presents it as an assault. The first one as an assault. Has rollerblades, rolls up, has a golden bat, and then beats her with it. That's how it's presented,
yes.
which isn't what actually happened.
No.
But we're gonna like, so this is why I like the show, is because the presentation isn't what actually happened. You're dealing with unreliable sources throughout the entirety of the show. So then the
Yeah.
second one is it's the kid, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because the kid comes around. This kid comes around. He wears golden rollerblades and has a baseball cap and is super popular. And then all of a sudden, because this person got assaulted by somebody kind of sort of matching his description, he gets alienated by his classmates after being a super popular kid. And then he thinks, oh, the reason why all these people are alienating me isn't just my association with golden rollerblades, but because I'm being targeted by Lumpy Bumpkin. I can't remember what his actual name is.
Yeah.
The country kid who's just super happy and whatever, right?
The country fat kid.
The country fat kid. Which is fine, right? Like, okay, cool. We're getting this plot, which is completely different. Keep in mind, this is a different perspective, because the first perspective you're following the first victim. The second time you're following the third victim, second and third victim, right?
Yeah, no, you're right.
So things are spreading a little bit. So he's being targeted, and he ends up going along with this class president, whatever person, right? And kid with golden roller blades with a golden baseball bat shows up and beats Bumpkin over the head,
Yeah, and like
which is what he
the other
wants.
yes is what the quote unquote like popular kid wanted.
So the popular kid wanted that because he's thinking that, oh, this guy is literally just stabbing me in the back, not pretending to be my friend, not being my friend, spreading all these rumors, whatever. It doesn't
If
really
the
matter.
kid gets smacked by Golden Bat, I can catch Golden Bat and I'll be a hero and popular again.
So he does that. Now the idea is that, okay, oh, now I'm in trouble because everyone already associates me with this baseball bat wielding madman. So I'm obviously going to be a suspect, and I'm going to be bullied even more. And then since he's in that position, he actually runs down the Shonen Bat, Golden Bat, and then Golden Bat turns around and is like, "Oh yeah, you're literally up shit creek. I'm gonna beat you over the head now."
Like it's yeah.
Because then you get to what's her name? Was it prostitute or
The tutor slash prostitute.
yeah, the tutor slash prostitute. She gets conked in the head, and then you
Because
follow.
she's going through a personality crisis.
Yeah, she's going through a personality crisis. Actually, I think she has split personality disorder.
Yeah, that's basically what that is what it is. Because
Yeah,
like
it's
her one personality is just like a normal tutor slash university professor assistant, and then her second personality is a whore.
so she gets trapped and then gets beaten over the head with the Shonen bat. And then we have a divergence. Do you remember this? Because there's a divergence in storytelling. Because at this point, we've had 3 episodes of victims, and then there's another episode following the guy. I have a picture of him in the middle for us talking. He's on the cell phone, kind of a big mouth, fat guy,
Yes.
and he's in a really bad position, but he's not like doomed.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Because he's actually
He's the one that's wrapped up with the mafia.
yeah, he's the one who's wrapped up with the mafia, owes him a shitload of money, like is not in a good situation, but is not taking it in that aspect, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets assaulted with a kid with skates and a baseball bat. Well, the episode after that, they follow the detectives who are following the case, and they find that he was assaulted by a copycat.
Yes, it was somebody who was pretending to be the Golden Bat.
Not just pretending to be the Golden Bat, but thought that he was some sort of hero.
Yes, and like he's the main reason I thought of Psychosis.
Oh yeah, no, he's off the wall. He's completely
Like
delusional.
he has like a book, like a fairy like book of like it's almost like a D&D book.
I think that's what it. I think it was a game. Like I think it was like a how to game guide for like Final Fantasy.
Yes, and like he basically thought he was like this hero, and like his bat was like a sword that he would like slay like evil monsters and stuff, and it was basically like a giant drug trip.
But that's kind of the episode that breaks the mold that they already set up. Like it wasn't just that it was like the episode before that there were cracks showing because it wasn't quite the same. He wasn't in a position where he was doomed.
Yeah.
But at the same point, the next episode like completely broke it open. But like from all these events, you can kind of piece together what actually happened once you realize what, you know, like let's go past the fact that the ending is batshit crazy. Okay? So like when we first get revealed of what's actually happening at the end is that it's a figment of her imagination. She tripped, she found a metal bar in the parking lot and beat herself over the head with it to try and rid herself of like the deadlines, this horrible situation that she's in, right?
Trying to help like alleviate the stress.
So, yes. Now, or it wasn't to alleviate the stress, it was to put her as the victim, right? If she was a victim, she's not to blame for not being able to do her job in a timely manner.
That's what I was getting at by like getting like trying to handle the stress
yes.
of like the deadlines and crap like that.
So, like, what if let's take that idea and let's apply that to the other 4 people involved before we get to the shonen bat portion. Or before we get to the copycat, right? So, kid who is put in a horrible position, teased, bullied, whatever.
We also forgot the kid was actually the 3rd victim. The second one was that one reporter guy, the journalist.
Oh, yeah.
He was also backed into a corner like mentally and stuff, which is where you would think a pattern was being formed.
Yes. And the patterns continued by the kids only because like the country kid wasn't, but the country kid was in the same position that it was only in that position because that guy was the other kid was. So it could have been just like one might have been happenstance where the other one might have been the target. However that works. But it's I think there's a lot more to it the more you look into it, because like if you take it for what it is, there's a lot that just does not add up at all.
Like even like the thing is I figure like I was actually figuring a lot of this stuff out like just fine, but it was still the fact that like it still felt confusing even knowing what was going on.
Yeah. Can we
And
say oh,
and on top of that they had like a lot like they had at least like 4 or 5 episodes that just didn't even need to be in. They were pointless. At least 2 off the top of my head.
I don't know about you, but like the Suicide Pact one was my favorite.
That one is my number 1 of did not need to be in.
Oh no, it didn't need to be in, but it was like the most lighthearted suicide story I've ever heard in my life.
Like it's just and that's not something you need to hear. That's not something you say every day.
No, it isn't. But like I think some of those episodes were in just to get an idea of scale, because with the individual stories you get why it matters to these individuals and you don't understand what it's doing to the community.
Yeah. Like another one that was really pointless was the episode of just the housewives gossiping and making up stories about the Golden Bat.
Well, I think like I believe that's what needed to be there. And it didn't need to be there for the episodes themselves. I believe the episodes themselves felt like filler. They could have easily been more I don't know, action packed or suspenseful or whatever. But the reason why they were there was to give the ending the type of scale that it had.
I don't know. Like it was just I got really bored.
I can
Like
understand. It's
like the
not
series dragged on so long.
yeah, it's
And
not a series for everyone.
and I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of scenes where it's just like it's basically just rehashing of like a previous part of like a different episode or something like that. And I skipped through quite a bit of some of the episodes.
Specifically when it comes to the uh, detectives, because they're trying to piece things together.
Like I skipped through most of that, like the Suicide Squad episode.
God, I love that episode. Such a good
I
episode.
skipped through a lot of the Housewife one, the one where like the like when the detective goes crazy and starts like pretending like he's a hero now, like
I
and he snaps. Like I skipped through a lot of his hallucinations. It's just it got so repetitive.
I think the problem is that there's a lot of information overload. Because
Like
a lot of it you can't tell if it's actually there for a reason or if it's just more nonsense.
and like that's why I ended up skipping through a lot of the stuff that like I could tell was nonsense. Is because it had no relevance and I just did not care.
I think some of those parts do have relevant information in them, but they're so hard to find. You have to like really be looking for it.
It's like one line they say.
But
Like
you know what I mean though. Like you're saying you skip through most of it. I'm saying that like the like there are very minute little details, but you really have to be looking for them. So I I really liked this show, but I really liked this show the for not the story itself, but the way the story is told.
see that's I disliked the show because of the way it was told and because of the story itself. Like it was just not good. And like I don't know, like I think it also doesn't help that like I could not relate to anything with any of these characters.
I mean that's a huge part. So like a lot of these characters have very severe flaws. Split personality disorder. Um, one is reliving horrific traumatic events from their past. Um, like the fall from grace that the kid has. Like these people don't like some of these are very specific problems that not everybody can relate to.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Like personally the like I didn't get too much from the first victim, but like when it comes to the boys being victims 3 and 4, was it 3 and 4 or whatever, and then the person was split personality disorder. Like I actually connected really hard with those characters because well I've had that fall from grace. It's happened to me. I moved schools and I went from being literally invited to everywhere and everything to being completely isolated. Like I've I haven't had split personality disorder, but I've had depression and ADD, which manifests like bipolar disorder. So like I can understand where these characters are coming from, where a lot of people I can understand don't.
see with that whole thing is like the with the first victim there's nothing like I had no traumatic experience that I'm masking or anything like that, or I've never really had that issue. The with
Well,
the
it's
kids, it's like I've never had that fall from grace moment because I can't relate to that because I was never at that grace moment. Like I'd never been popular in school. Like I didn't get invited to like anything. Even like the few friends I had didn't invite me to the stuff that they were doing. Like I didn't get because I was considered a party pooper. I like because I didn't want to like drink. I didn't want to like smoke. I didn't want to do anything like that. Like, and they assumed that, oh, well, you're just not going to be fun then. Like, you can't have fun then. So I'm not even going to invite you. It's like, you that's great. And like, and on what you were saying about that, it's like, and like I transferred schools as well when I was in elementary school, and like even when I like even at like my first set of schools and stuff, it's like I was looked at really weirdly and stuff, and like I wasn't too popular because I actually have bipolar. I am bipolar. I had to take medication and stuff for it when I was a kid, but like so I've never like I have nothing that I can really relate to these people about.
yeah. Well, I mean, like that I don't. That's so. I guess that's where we're at. Like the perspective, our personal perspective really matters in relation to the show.
Now, now that we've had that serious discussion,
I know, right? I wanted to point that. I just wanted to point that out because like the anxiety and the pressure and like
yeah,
these moments that these characters have the potential to really drag someone into this world.
yes. Like the I will say as a good thing, they do a pretty good job of like explain of like actually showing like that these are real issues that people do have to face
Can I say
in
they
society.
they also did a really good job of blowing the the golden bat shonen bat out of proportion.
Like making it bigger than what it should have been.
Yes, okay, so the first one is obviously this artist that's super famous, and then the second one is the news reporter. But like how that snowballs, specifically in the episode I'm thinking of where the woman is waiting for her husband to come home
Oh, the detective guy.
because it wasn't just like because it starts off as the kid, the initial shonen bat, the one that was put as like the
It's what society has
what
the vision of him as.
oh, no, it's not what the society has the vision of him as. It's built on that. So like or it's built on after that. So it's just like the initial description, the initial police report, and then it's like, okay, so it gets a little bit bigger because they're talking about how the
Yes, he evolves into what society is making him out to be, like through rumors and stuff.
but like that is what I will consider the payoff of that episode with all the gossip, right? Like you understand why he's become, instead of just the kid on roller skates with a baseball bat, he's become like this larger than life 20-foot tall monster.
Yeah.
And that's
Like,
like a lot of it is just like piecing together what is expected and what people build him up to be. And like the fact of the matter is she, like, besides the table being, besides the actual physical evidence of there being a scuffle, she's perfectly fine. Like she's standing up to this impending doom that would be the the bat. Like she's like fighting with that, but at the same point she's powered past what society has built this character to be.
yeah.
It's
Like,
it is very abstract. We'll put it that way.
But remember, he's made up, but he's able to affect the physical world apparently.
I I'm gonna put that
I will
as
never get past that.
I'm
That
gonna
they
put
had
that
no explanation for that.
I'm gonna put that as part of the world. You know, like I'm willing to write off that he has impact on the physical world by it being a show.
I
Like they
can't because the show is playing up to be like it's actually like real life. It's supposed to have like normal like normal life and stuff like that. And like they throughout the entire series these other people are having these like delusions and everything about like these fake monsters and these beings and stuff like that. Those aren't real. Those don't affect people. Just this one thing does.
and I don't think we'll ever get a proper explanation for it, which
We
is
won't.
which to me is fine.
To me it's not. It's very it's just it leaves the show very it's adds on to that confusion aspect of like it doesn't make any sense, especially as an ending.
Yeah, as an ending, it's a very confusing ending. Um, I I I kind of I'm not gonna lie, I write off a lot when it comes to this show in particular, specifically because it's like they're trying to get through abstract ideas.
It's I don't know. There are shows that I think were better that could portray this kind of stuff better.
I I like this show because it shows a lot. Like
It
like
it does.
in terms so like we'll go over a show that I will never ever give you because I don't want to destroy our friendship. I'm never going to give you Watamode. Okay?
Here's the thing. I've seen some of Watamote. That show wasn't as bad. Like that show actually made more sense.
But the thing is Watamode is about a single person dealing with a single I shouldn't say a single problem, but they're dealing with essentially just that one person and their problems. Where this show tries to build it up as bigger than that. It's saying a community and like an entire city, and it's trying to hit just major points which can bog things down. So I really like it for what it was. I think abstract is fine. I I really liked the show. I apologize that you didn't like it.
Yeah, like it even like I gave it a like I gave it a serious like try, and like I even got past that initial like first 4 episodes or so, like that hump, and like it didn't get better for me.
Yeah, I see. The thing was, is it I didn't feel like it got better. I
Me,
feel like I feel like in terms of story, it was subpar. In terms of actually representing the the mental states and actual problems of these people, it was really good.
like it did portray the mental like disorders and stuff really well, but like that's only part of like the whole of what the show was trying to do.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna call it there. I don't think we're gonna get any further than that because
Yeah,
it is a pile.
it, yeah, like if you take my opinion, I say don't really watch it. If you take Andy's opinion, he says watch it.
I mean, to be fair, being a split decision is not abnormal on this show,
No, it's not.
and and we all find things that we both like and hate. So, yeah, no, I've um, I'm gonna call it. So, you get to tell me what to watch next.
Alrighty. I'm gonna give you a series that uh it's it came out recently. It came out this year. Um and
All right, browser open.
it actually just the last episode got released like in the middle of September of the
Cool.
first season. I don't I assume it's just gonna be one season of this. Um Magical Senpai or Tejina Senpai.
All right. Oh goodness. I okay then.
So yeah, we'll do that one next.
That'll be a thing. Bye.
Bye.